Hi, friends. In today's episode, episode number 18, we will be covering the topic of cross docking in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. So, if you're watching this video for the first time, my name is Sriram Sivashankaran and I have been posting videos, documents, and articles related to Dynamics 365 F&O on a regular basis. If you want to get regular updates, please do make sure that you follow my profile in LinkedIn or subscribe to the channel D365 Talks, right? So let's get into today's topic. We are in episode number 18, and we have already covered the topics related to work template, load template, location directives, shipment consolidation, release to arrows, because all these concepts are interlinked as far as cross docking is concerned. So all these concepts and functionalities are required in order to achieve cross docking in a warehouse. So in today's episode, we will be covering about what exactly cross docking is, and why we need to do cross docking, and what are all the setups or configurations which are actually required in order to achieve the cross docking process, which has the inbound sorting and outbound operations. Uh, and we will quickly see a demo using a mobile application also, how to achieve this cross docking operation in D365, right? So first of all, let's try to understand what exactly cross docking is. Cross docking is a warehouse process where the inventory quantity that is required for an order is directed straight from receipt or creation to the correct outbound dock or staging area. So let's split this particular definition step by step. Cross docking is a warehouse process. So basically, this is one of the warehouse process which is being followed, where the inventory quantity that is required for an order, let's say that order can be a sales order or transfer order, but there is a requirement and you are meeting that requirement using the inventory, is directed, that particular requirement, the demand is directed straight from the receipt. This receipt can be from your purchase order receipt or from another transfer order, or it can be from a production order, so whatever it may be, to the correct outbound dock. So you are directing the material from the inbound to the outbound without actually storing it in your bulk location or your storage locations. So in what way this will help? Just look at this particular uh, diagram which I have here. Let's say you have receive the material from the suppliers, item A, item B, and item C, and you know that there is a requirement, there is a demand for this item A, B, C to two, three different customers. So once the sales require, there is a demand and there is a supply. You are not, there is no point in storing this item and in your warehouse space, because unnecessarily it is going to cost you time, space, and manpower, right? So the thing is, once you have a demand and there is a supply, you will do a cross dock. You quickly receive the item and then avoid unnecessary warehouse operations like the put away and then picking and then packing, because all these are not required. You just moving material from your supplier inbound to the outbound, so there is no further quality check is required. You just need to quickly move the material to the another warehouse or to a retail center, especially in case of large distributors or retail stores like Walmart, where they follow the process of cross docking. They quickly get the materials from their suppliers and move it across to their respective stores. So this will be highly helpful, especially like I mentioned in the advantages. So skip the inbound put away and the outbound picking of the inventory, so we are skipping both the operations. And then the number of times the inventory is touched is minimized, because just imagine you have a very huge warehouse space, 50,000 square foot of warehouse, where you are unnecessarily going and touching the inventory each and every time. So that is getting avoided. And also, end of the day, time and space saving comes into picture, because you can effectively use it for the items which need to be stored for a long period of time, rather than wasting. You are for sure know it, there is a demand for the item, so that you can quickly move it to the outbound dock, right? So this is the whole idea of using cross docking warehouse processes, and we will see how to achieve this cross docking processes in Dynamics 365. So let's quickly get into the system first. So this is the Microsoft Learn page, so I'll also share the link to you. I just copy pasted the same definition what is mentioned over here. Cross docking is a warehouse process where inventory quantity that is required for an order is directed straight from receipt or creation to the correct outbound dock or staging area, right? So this is a fantastic definition which Microsoft has given to us. So first of all, you need to make sure that the plan cross docking feature is enabled. But anyway, I'm sure you should be using you should be using a version which is greater than 29. So in that case, it is automatically turned on. You don't need to turn it off. And first point is you need to make sure that you regenerate the load posting method. So let's try to understand what this load posting method is. Load posting method basically defines the process of posting this cross docking plans. So first, let me go to warehouse management and a setup. You have load posting methods. So this is the path which is given over here. So we need to make sure that we need to regenerate the methods, but in this case I have already regenerated the method. So for me the plan crosstalk is going to reflect over here. But if you're starting for the first time, just make sure that you regenerate the method, and then the plan cross talking should be reflected over here. But you should do this after enabling the feature in the feature management for planned cross talking. You need to make sure that the plan cross talking is enabled, right? And then so this is the first step which you need to do. And then the next step, as per the flow, we'll go as per the flow what is mentioned in this learn page, right? So that it will be easy for you guys also to do it whenever you are practicing at home. So next thing is it is mentioned that we need to configure the cross-talking template. So path for us setup, warehouse management setup, work, and then cross-talking template. So here actually the flow, the configuration which is actually required is you need to create a new template based on the your warehouse requirements. So here, as you, if you are watching this episode right from the beginning, you are already know it that this is the warehouse which we were using for performing all our work and location directive and all the other load creations we were using. This is the warehouse which we were using. So you can, I'm just using the same values for our configuration purpose, right? So first of all, if you want to create a new cross-docking template, click on new, then enter the sequence number. The cross-docking template is executed based on the sequence number. The lowest value is given the highest preference. And then you need to give a template id, description, and demand release policy consist of two values. Let me click on new and to show you. So this consists of two value. One is before supply receipt do you want to do the cross-talk, or at the supply receipt do you want to do the cross-talk. But at supply receipt is basically used for your production orders or the co-production orders. So because before supply receipt, if I select before supply receipt, I will have the option to select the demand requirement, the work template which we have configured. Location type can be your location directory. So we have a lot of configurations which can be done if it is before supply receipt. But if I select at supply receipt, the user will not be able to select any of the other functionalities. Even the supply sources are also disabled. You can do only the at supply receipt if it is possibly for a production order or co-production order, right? So this is what I just want to show you. Let me delete this. So that's demand release policy, and then you need to do a warehouse selection. So here we have selected 16.8-WMS. So here they have actually used warehouse 51. And then we have the section called planning. So under planning, first point is the demand requirement. Demand requirement can be, so is it is primarily used to map what, how you want to map your supply. So you want to make it based on the order reservation, so that first the order need to be reserved, based, that will be based on your the reservation hierarchy setup which you have. Or you want to do a marking basically does you mark the supply again prior to releasing to warehouse. So I have given none, so either way you can use both options. So here you can also check the help text which clearly says to be linked to the supply prior to release. So so we need to make sure the marking has to be done. Anyway, we will do the marking manually in the sales order when we create it. Just after discussing the setups, we will also do it. And then work creation, I will suggest you to use location directives, because in the case of location directives you have the options to configure the for a specific warehouse, and if you want to allow splitting. So there are a lot of configurations which can be done at the location directives level. But if you select the other option, shipping actually inherits the staging or the location given in the staging or loading, which basically inherits your location available at the staging. So I will strongly recommend you to use location directives, where you have the functionalities to configure additional queries. Even if you have seen my location directive uh, part 1 and part 2, you can understand why I'm mentioning it, because you can do acceptance testing, and then you can provide additional criterias in the edit query section, right? And then you need to configure a work template also. um, I will also tell you because here, before configuring the work template, I think here what they have done is, yeah, they also configured a work template. But the thing is, this work template is different from the work templates which we have created in our previous episodes. Let me go to work template, because in the work template we were using the work order type as sales orders, because whenever any sales order is getting confirmed, an appropriate sales order work type will be used. If you created a sales order in 16a-wms, then it basically comes to this page and checks the work template created under the work order type sales order, right? But actually now we are doing cross talking, right? So you need to make sure that you create a work template under the work order type cross talking, not under sales order. So this is the first most important point while creating the work template. So already we discussed all of these about how to create a work template, location directives, or your work class. All these we have discussed, how to configure mobile device. So I'm not getting into the each and every configuration which is actually required. If you want those details, please check out the episodes up accordingly of this WMS series. So I have created a work template for the work order type cross talking, because this is very important, because the whenever the work is getting created, it should pick the condition whatever I've given in the work order type cross talking, and it should not be from the sales order. Because in our previous episode on packing and the containerization, we have actually created a work order type multi-level work order type. So system should not pick this. Actually, system should is supposed to pick the work order type of cross talking, this 16a, and there should be a pick operation and there should be a put operation, right? So, and I have assigned that particular work template over here. And then I would say these are all not mandatory setups. If you want to validate a time window, you need to enable the validate time window. You need to give the maximum time from which you want to move the material from the supply to a demand. You can provide the number over here, and you can define what is it, basically days or hours. Because there are cases where within the same day the warehouse operations team need to move the material from the inbound to the outbound. So in case if you want those configuration, you can make sure that the validate time window is enabled. And FIFO, so FIFO and FIFO, both the thing, this thing I would say, it is actually working based on the batch date expiration. So if you want to configure this, make sure that you are using a batch enabled item, right? And then the supply sources, this is important. I think it is also mentioned over here. I'm not sure what is the, okay, here also it is the supply sources, they have taken it from the purchase order. So imagine this supply source, the supply source for a demand, for meeting a demand in a sales order, the supply source can be from a purchase order, or it can be from a transfer order, or it can be from a production order or co-production order. But like I said, if the demand release policy is before supply receipt, you have the provision to select one among these four. But if it is at supply receipt, then you will not be able to select any of the supply sources. By default, it can be used only for the production orders, right? Let me delete this. Also, here you can use the sequence number, the sequence number one. The lower the sequence, higher the preference will be given to the same, right? So let me save this. And in the edit query session also, I have not given any kind of additional criteria. You can also provide, if it has to be used for a specific customer account or vendor account, you can provide the criteria if it is required for those customer loans. If you want to perform cross talking, then you can provide the same in the edit query session, right? Then what else we have work class. So let me go to work class. So in the warehouse management module, we have already discussed about the work classes. So let me tell you, this work class is actually configured along with the work template. So I have already created a, there was already a work class cross talking, we are primarily using the same. So the work order, what here what we need to notice, the work order type should be cross talking. So, and the location type, I have just given it as Baydor, because this is the shipping location which we have actually tagged in our location for 16a WMS. So, but this is also not mandatory, but I have just configured it. So just make sure that work class is configured, and then work template we discussed, and then we have location directives. So location directives also similarly, we need to have a separate, we need to create a separate location directive for the work order type cross talking. So the system should not use the location directive which we have actually configured for the sales orders. System is supposed to use only the cross talking location directive. So here we have created a separate location directive. So like you can see here, I have also given in the edit query session, the location should be shipping. So we are primarily receiving the material in receive location and moving it to a shipping location directly, and we are not going to pack it or store it, right? So even in the edit query I have not given any other condition over here. That's what I just want to show you. This is for the varo 16a-wms, right? So this is for location directive, and then we need to configure the mobile device menu item. So let me go to, yeah, it is in Varos management, setup, and then mobile device menu item. So all these we have already discussed. So that's the reason I'm going a bit fast. So if you want to get details about each and every setup, please watch the appropriate sessions. You can create a new mobile device menu also, but you can also use the purchase put away. So just make sure that your existing work is enabled. And what is the important point here is the work class need to be tagged over here. The work class crosstalk, whatever we have created, that has to be tagged over here. Otherwise you will not be able to use it in the mobile device menu when you are performing the operation using the WMS application, right? So that's what it is. And then let's get into the scenario, right? First, what we need to do is, let us create a purchase order. Accounts payable, I've already created a few purchase orders for this purpose. um, so let me go to standard view. So we have already created a few purchase orders. um, so here I will also, what we need to do is, we need to create a purchase order, at the same time we need to create a sales order also, because against the demand we are actually trying to meet a supply, create a supply, right? So first let me click on new. uh, so let me create a purchase order for a supplier. It can be any supplier, so you don't need to worry about the supplier selection, because we have not given any condition in the work or in the cross talking template. So this is the warehouse in which we are going to create a purchase order. So first, before creating the purchase order, I want to show you an important concept. So let me click on new. I'll select a customer. So 16a iPhone. So I'll select the warehouse also. This is the warehouse, which I think it's taking time. Yeah. So I'll select the warehouse also. So the point here, which I want to show you is, see this. I know you guys must be aware that this is the item which we were using throughout the episode, through the all our episodes. But first of all, we need to do a marking over here. But before doing the marking, if I try to release two arrows for this particular item, since we are doing a cross docking, system will try to look for the dimensions which are above location. So it clearly says cannot cross dock order line for item because not all above location dimensions are known, right? This basically comes from our reservation hierarchy. So that's what I want to tell you. So if you are doing a cross docking, make sure that even if it is a batch enabled item, the dimension should be below location. In this case, the reservation hierarchy, whatever we are using, the dimension batch is above location. But how the user will know the batch number until unless the material is received, right? So you will not be able to, you will not know the batch number until unless the item is received, right? So there's no point in using this particular reservation hierarchy or this item right now. So for that reason I just want to show it to you. Sorry, I just clicked on back. So that's the reason I just want to show it to you. So now what you need to do is, let me create a sales order, whatever we have already created. So I'm going to use a item number which is already existing in the system, not the item which we have created for this WMS series. So because the reservation hierarchy need to be changed for the same, so that's the reason I'm not using this item. So let me remove it, add the line A00. So that is this item. This is the item which we are going to use. In this case, the batch is below location. So system will not ask us for the batch number when we perform release to warehouse. So default is the reservation hierarchy which is used. So as you can see that it is not a batch enabled item, but if you are using batch enabled item, just make sure that the batch number is below location for that particular item, and for that item if you are doing cross docking. Otherwise it's fine to go ahead with the batch above location. Yeah. So the sales order is created. Now in the purchase order also I'm just adding the number, but I have already created few purchase orders, so I'm just trying to show you. So you need to make sure the purchase order is created and confirmed. But I already have few purchase orders which are created in the system. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the sales order, first of all we need to do the marking. Like I said, we need to connect, create a link, right, against this demand, what is the supply which is actually expected, so that once that is received we will do the cross talking. So here you can see the 595 is also there. So let me, I think this is the number, right? Yeah, 595 is the purchase order. So you can do the marking by directly clicking on the mark now, so that the one quantity will be assigned, or you can enter the quantity also over here. So selecting the checkbox, so the one quantity is marked. Let me click on OK, and then all you need to do is, after doing the marking, you can proceed for releasing to warehouse. So once you click on release to warehouse, the wave process will be submitted to run in batch, right? So this is now submitted to run in batch. So once this release to arrows process is happening, anyway, this is a batch job, right? So let's assume that the material is received in our inbound dock area. So we need to complete the product receipt. So in this case, I'm not using the mobile application to show you the product receipt. I'm just using the registration page in the system itself to show you. I'm just giving today's date, uh, was already available. Okay. So then update line. So now if I get inside the registration page, you will be able to see there are two lines. So one line is this is actually splitted, because since we have configured the cross talking and we have marked the this particular purchase order against the sales order. So this particular line is actually marked against the sales order. What is the number? 1169. So that's the reason this is actually splitted automatically. So you just add the registration line. You need to do the registration. You can do this from the mobile device also, and just using the um, web application, I'm just trying to show you the registration process, because one of the user has asked previously how to complete the registration process. So that's the reason now. So this is the license plate number. I have just created it manually. So I'll strongly recommend you not to create any manual license plate IDs, but for this purpose of this demo I'm just creating it. So RECV is the location which I want to do it. Let me, so this is now registered. Let, okay, this is one quantity. Let me go back to sales order first. I have not yet registered the item, so I have not yet registered the item. Let me refresh this page. Batch job is completed, but still if I go to shipment, shipment, so the line is there. This is for the one quantity, and here also you can check the planned cross docking. So now if I click on planned cross docking, you can see that what is the item number, what is the lot ID, order number, this is the sales order number, and also it shows me is the what is the related purchase order for which the cross docking has to be done. So you can view the list of all the lines for which the planned cross docking is eligible. So even in this case it is only one quantity, or else you will also be able to view the remainder and the quantity for which the cross docking need to be done. So here you can view it. But what I exactly want to show you is, this is in the shipment page. You can view this. Also you can view it in the load details page. Even if you go to load details, I think here also you can see the planned cross docking is from this page. Also you can check the planned cross docking. But the point here is actually the work is not yet created, right? Because we have not yet received the material. System knows it that we have not yet received the material, so the work is actually not created. But in previous cases, once it is released and the wave is processed, the work must be created. But in this case, we don't have the. Let me go to work details page. Also here, also you can see the work is not yet created, right? So let me go back and then let me go to registration page. Now I'm going to confirm this registration, saying that I have received the material. I have received the material. Now I'll go back. So even registration process means the physically your inventory is updated. So that's what registration actually means, right? So this item for one quantity we have completed the registration, so which means the physically the inventory is updated now against this license plate 159, right? So now let me go to sales order. Let me refresh this form. um, so after refreshing the form, let me go to again load details. So now, sorry, I need to go to work details. So if I go to work details, now the work must be created, because since the item is physically updated, right? So let's go to work details. Now you can see the work is actually created. And the most important point here is the system actually created this work based on the work order type cross docking, and it is not based on the work order type sales. So this is the most important aspect. So after doing the registration, the work is automatically created, and now the work order type is cross docking and it is not sales. Because in the previous episode when we did for a work template configuration or packing and containerization, where the work order was actually of type sales, and it is now cross docking. So this is what the most important point which I want you guys to note. So now let me go to the mobile device. So let me copy the work id. So as a user, then the user can quickly do the sorting, and then it can copy the work id. And here you can see that it has actually picked the license plate 159 directly. So we have not actually performed the picking operation over here. So so it has actually taken the 159 target license plate on autonomously, and we have not performed the picking list operation over here, right? So we can simply the user can simply check the details and then go ahead and confirm it. So once it confirms, it then confirms, asks for the confirmation for the put location also. It directly need to move to the shipping location. Again, the license plate is same, item is same, so I'll directly confirm it. So once I confirm, the work is completed, right? Fantastic. So let me refresh this form. So now the work status is closed. So let me go back. So now if I check the load status, it will be updated as loaded. So which means we have, we have received the material in our inbound dock, we sorted it, and we have loaded the material in our outbound dock, which is what exactly this means. So now from this form also I can confirm the shipment. So once the shipment is confirmed, it means the shipment has been dispatched. So you can also confirm the shipment from the load form. We have already discussed about this, and if you want, you can generate the packing slip from here, from this page, or so that you will, and you can print it and send it along with the consignment. And later on, if you want, you can then later on also you can do the invoicing for the item, right? So you have quickly received the material, and then completed the sorting, and then also using the mobile device we have completed the outbound dispatch also, right? So we saw the setup for regenerate load posting. We have actually not gone through the slides. So these are all the setups which we have covered, because primarily I want you guys to check out this Microsoft page. So next time when you are doing it, just make sure that I will also share this link in the description, video description. Just make sure that you follow these steps which are recommended over here. Whatever we have done so far, exactly the same is written over here. Only the difference is it's written in text, and this is a video format of telling you how the things have to be done. So so this is what exactly we have done. So typically the process involves unloading, storing it in a bulk location or in the floor, and then moving it to packing station, do the packing and containerization process, and then moving it to shipping location. And from there it actually gets moved to the loading area for the outbound dispatch, right? But for certain cases it is not actually required. In case of materials which are handled at large volume, and you necessarily don't need to perform any kind of quality inspections, or you are simply just receiving the orders from the supplier, and you want to move it to your retail stores or your manufacturing facilities. In those cases, you unload the material, you do a quick sorting, and then complete the loading process, so that you can quickly move the material from from the inbound to the outbound, so that by which you can save your cost, time, and also the inventory transactions, and most importantly the warehousing space, right? So So I will also share, like I said, I will also share this detailed description of the link and the other articles in the description of this video. But always may keep this point in your mind: practice is the only way to mastery. So make sure that you follow this video, and also try to do it on your own using your sandbox environment. So so the way forward is, next we will be getting into episode number 19, where we'll be covering about cycle counting and basics. And then with episode number 20, we will be signing off this WMS series. So hope you enjoyed this video, and you like to I hope you like this video. All I expect is, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, or share your thoughts in the comment section, and make sure that you like the video also. And if you're watching this in YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Or if you're using LinkedIn, make sure that you follow my profile, Sriram Sivashankaran. Thank you.